We're hearing more and more about this. Squatters living in vacant properties, confronting homeowners and refusing to leave. Some of these cases have turned violent. Some have even turned deadly. Recently, we told you about that Venezuelan migrant who you heard right there. He went viral coaching his 500,000+ followers on TikTok how to squat in homes that don't belong to them. The video has already had more than 4 million views. LA, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and New York City are just a few of the cities right now facing a major increase in squatting. And the issue is far more complicated than it may seem. Squatting is not the same as trespassing under the law. In New York, it takes just 30 days to gain squatter rights, and homeowners trying to get rid of squatters have an uphill battle. Well, now there is a new push in New York to stop squatters from taking over homes that do not belong to them. New York State Assemblyman Jake Blumencranz joins us now. He introduced a bill to crack down on squatting and protect homeowners. Thank you for your time, and it couldn't come at a more important time when we have this brutal case in New York of this woman who was killed after she went into her late mother's apartment. Squatters are accused in her murder. Tell me what the law says now that gives squatters the rights that they have.
Thank you so much for having me this morning, Marni. You see so many of these viral TikToks of people explaining how exactly they can utilize our laws against us. My bill is very simple. All it does is remove the ability of people who are squatting to have the same rights as tenants.
So go through some of the specifics of your bill. One is extending the days necessary to gain possession. What difference will that make, do you think?
Yes, so many people do monthly rentals or they leave and sublet for a month. This will make it so if someone is staying for more than a month, they'll have the ability to remove them. So it'll go from 30 days to 45 days. We also try to define squatters within the bill so that someone can take them to court and make sure they can have that 10-day eviction and remove them in a timely fashion.
It's not considered criminal trespassing, squatting, which to me seems like common sense, but your bill would also aim to change that?
Yeah, unfortunately, many of these people who maybe they go on vacation and someone shows up with false documents, or we see so many different scenarios. I've had scores of calls of people with unique stories as to how this crisis is affecting them. I mean, in New York, housing is expensive, and people will find any way to game the system to hurt people who own property. And this is just meant to empower property owners.
What are you hearing? Some of the personal stories about how they're getting into these properties, how they know about them in the first place?
Well, in many cases, they came on under certain circumstances, like they were going to stay for a month, or they're staying with a friend, and then they declare they have rights under being a squatter. In other cases, someone has broken into their home while they were on vacation, and now they are claiming that they have squatters' rights because they were there for a certain number of days. Again, each and every one of these cases is unique, and unfortunately, we need to do something to fix this. People who own property, they feel helpless, and this empowers them.
Right, and they have really no recourse when you look at some of the damage that was caused. In order to put this bill together, did you lean on other states or cities that have seen success in trying to combat this?
Yeah, of course. States like Florida has passed in both houses a similar version of this legislation, and we're just looking to do what's right for homeowners here in New York.
And what has been the response so far from your colleagues in trying to get this through?
So I've been trying to create a coalition, a bipartisan coalition of legislators in both houses. So far, we've had an outpour of legislators on both sides of the aisle who have signed on to this bill. We're looking to advocate here in Albany all week long to make sure we can get as many members as possible onto this legislation. And I look forward to seeing us pass something in a bipartisan fashion.
And this would not be just for New York City. This would be statewide, essentially. I know we covered a case in upstate New York of a couple who couldn't get back into their own home.
Of course, my district is on Long Island, and unfortunately, I have a resident here on Long Island who's on the brink of homelessness because she can't get a tenant out, and she has to pay legal, electric, water, and she can't sustain that for her children and the person who's squatting.
Yep. How long has she been in that situation?
Over 2 years. This is a common story, and unfortunately, some of the legislation on the table could make that process even longer. So we're looking to just mitigate it for those experiencing a squatter versus, a traditional tenancy conflict.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.